equinerehab.com. Our proud sponsor, Ariat International, wants to thank you all for attending the Live Oak International. Ariat footwear and apparel are designed for everyone, from top riders to everyday horse enthusiasts. Ariat products are developed to deliver sustainable durability and comfort both in the saddle and on the ground. Visit Ariat.com to learn more. Taylor Harris Insurance Services is there for you every step of the way to ease the process of insuring your horse. From guiding you through choosing coverage and handling paperwork to responding quickly and knowledgeably as changes and needs arise. Call Taylor Harris Insurance Services, who will welcome the opportunity to provide you with a quote and deliver you first-class service that is their tradition. Seminole Feed and Seminole Wellness are proud sponsors of the 2016 Live Oak International Tournament. Established in 1934, Seminole Feed is a proud maker of Seminole Wellness, the low-starch leader in equine nutrition. Seminole Wellness offers a complete line of veterinary-approved equine feeds to fit the need of every horse, from growing foals and performance horses to our senior friends. Please visit us online at www.seminolewellnessfeeds.com or call our Equine Nutrition Helpline at 1-800-683-1881. Seminole Wellness, world's best equine feed. Explore the heart of luxury, the beautiful lifestyle of Golden Ocala Golf and Equestrian Club. Behold the gentle rolling hills of Central Florida, making their way along the lavish horizon. Bridle trails stray tenderly amid the century-old oak trees, bringing picturesque delight to this lovely community's full-service equestrian center. Proud homes whisper magnificently in stately neighborhoods woven together with rich amenities. Enjoy the offering of our gracious country club, Championship Golf, on an artistically and masterfully designed course. Experience the spectacular. Visit goldenocala.com. You don't have to be a Grand Prix horse to travel like one. Brookledge Horse Transportation has first-class seats available for all their passengers. Visit brookledge.com and let your horse travel in the ultimate luxury. Brookledge Horse Transportation is proud to be the official horse transportation sponsor of the Live Oak International. For over 55 years, the family-owned and operated business has been serving America's top equine athletes with the finest horse transportation available. Visit brookledge.com today. John Deere is a leader in manufacturing, distributing, and financing a line of agricultural, consumer, construction, and commercial equipment. Since it was founded in 1837, the company has maintained its heritage of integrity, quality, commitment, and innovation, and why they proudly support the Live Oak International event. All horse owners are qualified to receive discounts up to 28% on select John Deere equipment, including lawn and garden tractors, compact utility tractors, Gator utility vehicles, commercial mowing equipment, and much more. For details on exclusive equine member discounts provided on John Deere equipment, stop by the John Deere booth or your local AgPro dealership. Shepard Kaplan is an independent investment advisor serving ultra-high net worth private clients and family offices, as well as institutional clients nationwide. The firm focuses on exceptional client service and serving as a steward of multi-generational wealth. Shepard Kaplan is Boston-based with additional offices in San Antonio, West Palm Beach, and Atlanta. Savaro is a proud sponsor of the Live Oak International. Savaro offers a line of luxury coolers with a full suite of features, including a thick layer of renewable cork insulation. Available in 30, 45, and 70 quart options, Savaro coolers are offered in both white and black collections. To see a full line of luxury coolers, visit savaro.com. You can follow Savaro on our social platforms of Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. E-Squared Show Jumpers brings exceptional horses and top jumper riders to our sport in North America and Europe. Top quality horses competing and offered for sale. E-Squared Show Jumpers is proud to sponsor the $10,000 Leading Rider Award at this year's Live Oak International. First Avenue National Bank. Need cash now? Stop at First Avenue National Bank ATM, conveniently located near the Vendors Village. We are here to help you navigate through the financial hazards of both business and everyday life. Call us today and ask about our personal and business banking concierge service. First Avenue National Bank, proud supporter of the Live Oak International, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. When your thoughts turn to equine insurance, choose Great American, the nation's largest equine insurer. Great American Insurance Operations offers a complete line of equine and farm products, including mortality, farm packages, and liability. With a staff of 50, Great American has over 600 years of experience serving the equine industry. Whatever your requirements, Great American Insurance has superior products and services designed to meet the unique insurance needs of both horse and farm owners. Not far from Live Oak, Iron Spring Farm South has a fine selection of Dutch warmbloods and Friesian horses for sale. For more than 35 years, Iron Spring Farm has been breeding and selling high-quality sport horses that excel in jumping, dressage, and driving. Stallions like Sir Sinclair, Ulber 390, and Tata 392 are producing world-class horses in all disciplines. With years of professional experience, Iron Spring Farm can help you choose the perfect stallion for your mare. Please visit www.ironspringfarm.com for more information and to schedule an appointment to meet their sales horses. Ariat International welcomes you to the Live Oak International, providing advanced technology to give you the ultimate in performance. Ariat Products helps keep riders and drivers comfortable both in the saddle and on the ground. Visit ariat.com to learn more. Cosequin ASU Plus is the most advanced Cosequin equine joint health formula and the #1 veterinary recommended joint health supplement brand. Cosequin has been shown to be safe, effective, and absorbable in horses. Ask your veterinarian about Cosequin ASU Plus for your horse. It takes hard work, experience, and commitment to get here. Those are the qualities that define champions, and the qualities that define John Deere. John Deere has been an enduring supporter of the equine industry and is proud to be a part of the Live Oak International. All horse owners are qualified to receive discounts on select equipment including lawn and garden tractors, compact utility tractors, Gator utility vehicles, commercial mowing equipment, and much more. For details on the exclusive equine member discount provided by John Deere Equipment, stop by the John Deere booth or your local Ag Pro dealership. At Taylor Harris Insurance Services, we give you choices when you ask for a quote. Policies are placed with the highest rated, most secure insurance carriers noted for their prompt and reliable claims settlements. Call Taylor Harris Insurance Services, who will welcome the opportunity to provide you with a quote and deliver you first-class service that is their tradition. The Jerry Parks Insurance Group has been providing quality equine mortality coverage for more than 30 years. Over the past 20 years, we have expanded our services to offer insurance coverage to meet the needs of every horseman in every breed, from the owner of one horse to large farm owners. In addition to the coverages for equine, our insurance specialists can assist you with comprehensive farm packages, workers' compensation, horse owners' liability, general business liability packages, umbrella liability, homeowners, auto, life, and health, all underwritten by some of the nation's most financially sound A and A+ best-rated carriers. Our goal at Jerry Parks Insurance Group is the satisfaction of our clients through exceptional personalized service and outstanding products to meet their needs. Joan Pletcher is the exclusive realtor of the Live Oak International. Joan specializes in equine properties, estates, and land. Stop by our Joan Pletcher Realtor booth in the vendor area. Waldron Private Wealth is a boutique wealth management firm that provides comprehensive, independent counsel to a select group of ultra-high net worth individuals, families, and family office. We build client teams comprised of experts from diverse financial backgrounds, customized to serve each client's unique needs. Our 5-to-1 client-to-staff ratio allows us to focus on each client so that we can unravel the complexities of their wealth and provide them with clear choices and succinct, smart advice. At Waldron, we don't just simplify your wealth, we simplify your life. Best of luck to all competitors from Waldron Private Wealth.
Good afternoon and welcome to the magnificent Live Oak facility here in Ocala, Central Florida, for the first of our international jumping competitions of the week here from Live Oak, as we build up towards the final leg of the Longines FEI World Cup Jumping North American League. It will help define both the East Coast and West Coast qualifiers going to the Longines FEI World Cup Jumping Finals in Gothenburg in just a few weeks' time in Sweden in Europe. Our first class is a two-phase competition. We've got 39 starters, including some of the very best in the world, coming here to compete at the magnificent Live Oak venue alongside combined driving. Of course, Chester Webber, a world medalist, our host here at the combined driving sport at the Alltech FEI World Equestrian Games in Normandy in 2014. Leopoldo Palacios has set the track for the two-phase fences 1 to 8 in the ring to be covered within 60 seconds. And then if they are clear without time faults and clear over the jumps, they'll proceed to the second phase over fences 9 to 14. And there's a time allowed there of 45 seconds. We're just a few minutes away from the very first in the ring in this $10,000 Waldron Private Wealth two-phase, the first international competition of the week here at the three-star World Cup qualifier, part of the Longines FEI World Cup Jumping North American League from Live Oak, Ocala, Florida. So Andre Thieme, twice the winner of a $1 million class here in the United States of America. He won the Sorgetais $1 million and the Ocala $1 million. The German rider rides his long-term partner, the 12-year-old by contender Contendrix. Starting out over that inviting about $1.40 Oxa. Now they've got this curving line over the Waldron Private Wealth and to the Lugano Diamonds fence at 2 to 3. Just making interesting use of the arena here early on. First double on course now coming up for our competitors at 5AB. So this first phase, 350 meters in length. They need to cover the ground at 350 meters a minute, giving that time allowed of 60 seconds. Over the vertical here, just close to us, going now to the North American League fence. And on this related distance from there on a slight dogleg turn to the last in the first phase. The poles look all right, the time looks all right, so progressing on Andre Thieme and Contendrix. So that's Andre and Contendrix safely qualified through for the World Cup. They do need to qualify through by completing a round of jumping in the first phase here, counting as that round of jumping. So Andre electing to retire in the second phase. First for the home side, about half of our competitors this weekend coming from the United States of America. And the first for the home side is Peter Lutz. Peter with Retiro, an 11-year-old by Rockefeller Z. Peter is currently 9th on the North American League East Coast after a 4th place in the American Gold Cup at Old Salem, New York. And he was the winner at the South Point Center in Las Vegas of the North American League leg there. It's his first career international win. He also had a good 4th place in the Grand Prix at the Pennsylvania National this year, or just last autumn. So plenty of time in hand on the 350 meters a minute required speed through the first phase. And now he picks it up because the classification of the double clears will be based on time in the second round. A real sticky jump there from Peter Lutz and Retiro. Our first in the second phase. Coming down this line, 11 to the double, 12A, 12B. Oh, just tries for that really tight turn. Doesn't get it smooth. Turning back after 12B to 13. But those who just a little bit nimbler should be able to carry that off and might just be a little bit quicker than that final time of 36.50. But that's the target to beat. Peter Lutz and Retiro setting the very early standard in this Waldron Private Wealth $10,000 two-phase competition here at the Longines FEI World Cup Jumping North American League qualifier from Live Oak. Well, a number of riders ranked right up there in the world here with us at Live Oak. This lady is ranked right up there in the world, but in another of our equestrian sports, she's the 24th ranked rider in the world in the sport of eventing, took the individual Pan American gold medal at Toronto last summer in eventing, but has only been eventing for 4 or 5 years. Her first sport was as a Grand Prix show jumper. She had a win and 2 third placings at the Nations Cup meeting here in Ocala last weekend, including third in the Grand Prix. She's taken a number of meter 60 class wins up in Spruce Meadows in Canada. Had tremendous success last summer in the eventing field as well, with the 3-star win at Bromont in Canada and also at Plantation Field Horse Trials in Pennsylvania. Marilyn Little riding Karen O'Connor's Clearwater, a 9-year-old by Clearway. And often when Marilyn's over competing in Europe, eventing the last few years, she's brought some show jumpers, done a lot of the Belgian and Dutch shows just to keep her eye in. 51.57 there, the time in the first phase for Marilyn Little and Clearwater. Picking up the pace significantly now in the second phase, jumping on the angle across that vertical at 10. And see if she gets this inside turn. Yes, and much, much smoother than Peter Lutz. Over the Live Oak fence to complete. The time on the clock is 30.91 seconds. So over 5 seconds into the lead for Marilyn Little and Clearwater. So the United States of America with the top 2 placings, 2 double clears so far. Marilyn Little leads from Peter Lutz. Now with Grant Road Partners, Checkpoint U by Casal. This is Katie Dynan. Katie was a top 10 finisher in the World Cup qualifier at the Wellington Masters. It was her best World Cup result this season, having also ridden at Bromont, the American Gold Cup, Washington, and the National Horse Show at Kentucky. Individual gold medalist at the 2011 North American Young Rider Championships. And rode last April at the Longines FEI World Cup Jumping Finals in Las Vegas, her 3rd finals. Also a regular part of the US team. She rode at the Furaccia FEI Nations Cup Finals in Barcelona in 2014, having been on the winning Nations Cup team for the Aga Khan at Dublin. Meter 40 class, a relatively easy standard at the beginning of the weekend here for our World Cup competitors. So clear in the first phase for Katie Dynan and Checkpoint U. So she progresses. Marilyn Little certainly had the bit between her teeth, setting that 30.91 seconds for the current lead. I think anyone who wants a cut has to take that tight inside turn. Coming back now to the final line. So slower than Marilyn Little, all right, but could easily go into second place. Katie Dynan and Checkpoint U. 35.65, so by the merest margin into second place. Peter Lutz just behind on 36.50. So 1, 2, 3 for the United States of America. Marilyn Little, our leader, with Clearwater double clear in 30.91 seconds. Andrew Coker. Andrew, who was the runner-up a couple of years ago in the Puissance at the Washington International Horse Show. He was the runner-up in a good Grand Prix at the Tryon facility in North Carolina last October. And last weekend at the Ocala Nations Cup Show, he had a second and another top 10 in the international jumping classes. Andrew today rides Le Conte, 15-year-old by Lancer. Live Oak this year celebrating its 25th year of running horse shows. This is the 5th year that jumping has been a part of it, and this grass arena here, just immaculate here under the Central Florida sunshine. Andrew's going to bring it in clean and clear in the first phase, so now he pushes the throttles forward, thinking about that time of 30.91 seconds set by Marilyn Little. Just hustling the horse down that line, keeping behind him, goes out wider than anyone we've seen so far, though. So that means that Marilyn Little will hold the lead for another turn of the handle here at Live Oak. Double clear, time of 37.46. So that goes into 4th place at the moment for Andrew Coker and Le Conte. Manuel Torres, Cristofalini H by Canto out of a Balu de Roue mare. Manuel had a top 5 result when he jumped here at Live Oak last year. It was his first show back after a 5-year break from the international sport of show jumping. Manuel, a 5-time Olympian. It's also ridden at 2 World Championships and 3 Pan American Games for Colombia. Just the quality of the field here at Live Oak. Probably about a third of the competitors are Olympians here. I say these top-level horses getting a great start to the season here in Florida as well. So much choice with the Winter Equestrian Festival down in Wellington, the Big Show circuit here in Ocala as well as some of the standalone boutique events, Live Oak, and also the Wellington Masters. The previous East Coast leg of the Longines FEI World Cup Jumping North American League means that these horses really are at a huge advantage in their preparation for a full year of campaigning. So again, just going out that little bit wider, meaning that Marilyn Little still holds the whip hand. Manuel Torres for Colombia gives a 0-0 score. Very close on the time. It's into second place on 35.30. But 30.91, still a considerable advantage for Marilyn Little. Winner of the World Cup qualifier here last year and leading rider at Live Oak the last 2 years, Ireland's Cian O'Connor, two-time Irish Olympian. Over 100 Nations Cup caps for Ireland. A former winner of the Grand Prix at Dublin and three-time winner with the Irish team of the Aga Khan Nations Cup trophy. Cian regularly spends the first few months of the season here, and he loves jumping at Live Oak because it's great preparation for his horses, and we saw that in particular with his World Cup winner last year. Good luck. Jumping on the grass surface here at Live Oak was important to Cian because the Nations Cup season starting soon in Europe, the first big Nations Cup, Le Ball out in a big grass ring, and most of the other jumping here in Florida on an artificial surface. So for a European competitor like Cian, the grass surface here at Live Oak gives him a tremendous opportunity early in the season just to confirm the preparation that he's been doing at some of the other show centres. And he's going to be a busy man clocking up the air miles this weekend because he has horses entered down in Wellington this weekend as well. He'll be riding there on Saturday Night Lights, as well as running his couple of horses here at the World Cup qualifier as well. Now, is he going to have a real cut at this? I'm sure he'll go inside, but how is he against Marilyn's time of 30 seconds? Oh, that's a pole down there, coming in at the second last. Jumps the Live Oak. It's a very good time, 31.51, the closest anyone has come to Marilyn Little thus far, but it is 4 faults, leaving him down the classification. So classified 6th with that fast 4-faulter, 31.51 on the clock for Cian O'Connor and Nicole Walker's Sapphire. Hope van Zorgvliet and Brittany Raflowitz now. Brittany, who co-owns this horse with ESI Show Jumpers. Hope, a 9-year-old by Charcoal Blue out of a Darko mare. So good Belgian warm blood breeding on this one. Brittany was last summer's individual silver medalist at the North American Young Rider Championships held up there in the Kentucky Horse Park. Just not the most settled way of going at the moment for this combination. That could count against them if they want to try against the clock in the second phase. But of course, at the moment, they've just got to keep it smooth enough that they progress to the second phase. Make sure they're not wasting so much time they get time penalties. And of course, make sure they leave everything standing. Just napping a little bit coming away from the gate. "60 seconds, the time allowed in the first phase. So they'll be all right on the clock. Popping out over the last in the first phase, so the clock clicks over into their second phase time. It's big striding, this horse, so that helps against the clock, but will she be able to turn back? Through the double, no, going to go out wide. Good news still for Marilyn Little. An early draw for Marilyn, but set the standard on 30.91 seconds. This comes home. It's another 0-0 score. 38.66 on the clock for Brittany Raflowitz and Hope van Zorgvliet. So that classifies them in 6th position at the moment, Brittany Raflowitz and Hope van Zorgvliet. For the United States of America, our leader is for the US at the moment, Marilyn Little, riding Clearwater. Time of 30.91 seconds, clear in the second phase. Wesley Newlands for Canada with Geisha van Orshoff. Geisha by Cabrio van der Heffink, 10-year-old mare owned by Weslands Farm. Wesley jumped in the World Cup qualifier at the Wellington Masters a few weeks ago and jumped at the two-star tour at a number of prestigious European shows last summer, including taking a win at the Longines Global Champions Tour two-star tour in Vienna in September. So another one progressing to the second phase over this meter 42 phase track, the opening competition of the weekend here. Staying far over to the left-hand side of that double to try and get the turn. Just has to really gather the horse back up, though, to jink around the wing of that double at 5. Now they open up down the final line. Clear the last and stopping the clock on 37.95. So 6th at the moment for Wesley Newlands and Geisha van Orshoff. So Wesley Newlands, 6th place, double clear, 37.95 in the second phase is the time against which they're classified. We stay with Canada for our 10th to jump, Kyle Tim with Apex Equestrian Centre's Kalida. Kyle is based in Apex, North Carolina, and for that reason jumps a lot at Tryon. He had a meter 50 class win there last summer. A good result in one of the speed classes at the National Horse Show in Kentucky. And he's jumped extensively this spring down in Wellington at the Winter Equestrian Festival and last week at the Ocala Nations Cup show. Kalida, 12-year-old mare by Converter. So first to have problems in the first phase, just taking a block out of the top of that wall for 4 faults. So pops the last. They won't progress. 4 faults in the first phase for Kyle Tim and Kalida. Colombia, Juan Manuel Gallego with Hannes van het Skeefkasteel. Juan Manuel for Colombia was on the Nations Cup team at Wellington in 2012. And he won the World Cup League final in Colombia in 2013 and second in that same class in 2014. Hannes van het Skeefkasteel is owned by Carolina Barrera, a 9-year-old by Darko out of a Diamante Semi mare. Well, it's a little bit like buses. We had no problems in the first phase, and now 2 in a row have fenced 6 down. Good rattle on the back bar of the North American League fence as well. So 4 faults for Juan Manuel Gallego and Hannes van Het Schiefkasteel, putting them on a total of 4 faults, and they'll be classified according to time in the first phase, with Kyle Tim, the other one, not to progress at the moment. Juan Manuel Gallego with 4 faults in the first phase for Colombia. US rider Charlie Jacobs. Charlie with CMJ Sport Horses Calanta, 9-year-old by Verdi. Charlie's very much here for points. He's currently 13th on the East Coast North American League after a runner-up spot at Bromont in Montreal, and he was just outside the top 10 at both Washington and at the Toronto Royal. Charlie rode on the Nations Cup team last year at Falsterbo in Sweden and was a Longines FEI World Cup jumping finalist at Lyon in France in 2014. Top 10 finisher here last year in the World Cup qualifier at Live Oak. And the points for a similar result this year might just propel him up into the qualification zone for those finals in just about 3-4 weeks' time now in Gothenburg in Sweden. Just inside the time there, 58.7 in the first phase for Charlie Jacobs. 60 seconds, the time allowed. Just jumping across that vertical on the angle, has it down. So it'll be 4 faults in the second phase. And probably not going to be as fast as Cian O'Connor, so he'll probably be classified behind him. Cian with our fastest 4 faults in the second phase, 31.51. Well, now it's 8 faults, having the same fence as Cian down as his second problem on the round. 8 faults in 42.37 for Charlie Jacobs. So that's put into 9th position at the moment for Charlie Jacobs. Cian O'Connor in 8th, and then our 7 double clears being led by Marilyn Little and Clearwater. Double clear in the fastest time so far of 30.91 seconds. Leslie Burr-Howard ranked just outside the world's top 150 at the moment with Utah. 19-time World Cup finalist and winner in 1986. Leslie, another of our Olympians, rode at the Centennial Games in Atlanta, taking team silver with the US. Leslie was just outside the top 10 in the World Cup qualifier at the National this year in Kentucky. Grand Prix winner at the Pennsylvania National, and also jumped well at the World Cup show at the Royal in Toronto. Leslie's horse, the syndicate-owned Utah, 15-year-old by Andiamo, out of a Jus de Pomme mare. So into the second phase, and Leslie starts off strong. Not the smoothest rollback turn then to 10. That could cost them a half a second or so. better this time on the tight turn back inside the double 5A, 5B. 30.91 seconds to beat. It is going to be very, very close. Just outside 32.78. Leslie Burr-Howard and Utah give us a double clear and go into second place. 32.78. Cian O'Connor was a little faster, but he had one down in the second phase. And Marilyn Little clear all the way in 30.91 seconds is still your leader here in the Waldron Private Wealth $10,000 International 2-phase, the opening class of the Longines FEI World Cup Jumping North American League here at Live Oak. Debbie Stevens and Everest consistently jumping at Grand Prix and World Cup qualifiers across North America. Twice visitors to Live Oak before, and had a top 5 in a meter 55 Grand Prix at Tryon in North Carolina in October. Just very steady pace right the way around this first phase so far for Debbie Stevens and Everest. Another syndicate-owned horse. Still okay on the clock in the first phase by 0.7 of a second, so they do progress. Probably one of the youngest horses in the field coming up on our stats as 7 years old. Debbie will just want to give the horse a nice experience here early on in the weekend at this show. And a good double clear to start their weekend of jumping. The time 44.41 for Debbie Stevens and Everest. Now riding Athena, Chloe Reid. 11-year-old by gentleman, appears in the KWPN stud book. Chloe was just outside the top 10 in the 5-star Grand Prix at Wellington at the Winter Equestrian Festival a fortnight ago, and jumped the 5-star tour at the Longines Global Champions Tour of Vienna, the Glock show in Austria, and also at the Nations Cup show at Falsterbo in Sweden. 2 top 10 finishes here last year. Chloe Reid, another one of those who's come up through the North American Young Rider system, part of a gold medal winning team at the Kentucky Horse Park in 2014. And helping to make Live Oak's 25th anniversary a family affair as well, because Chloe is Chester Webber's niece. Chester, the host here at Live Oak Stud, won the dressage phase of the USEF National Four-in-Hand Driving Championships yesterday, putting him on course to a 13th USEF title. This is not going to be a bad time at all. Leaves all the sticks standing. 33.22. And that goes into third at the moment. Chloe Reid and Athena in third on 33.22. Marilyn Little still leading. And Leslie Burr-Howard and Utah between them on 32.78. with Chansonet Farms Be Gentle, Lily Keenan. Lily was an individual gold medalist at the 2013 North American Young Riders. Jumped in Europe last summer, had good results at Bolesworth, and was third in the Tom Hudson Derby Trophy at Hickstead. And had international wins at the Nations Cup show at Bratislava. There's always a big US contingent at Bratislava, and also in Ascona. So progressing on to the second phase, Lily Keenan, Be Gentle. 16th of 39 on the start list for this International 2 phase. So not going to beat Marilyn's time. Just shows you how fast Marilyn was. 32.11, Lily Keenan and Be Gentle. So just pips Leslie Burr-Howard for second place. She's now third on 32.78. Chloe Reed drops to fourth. Lily Keenan and Be Gentle, 32.11. We've seen Cian O'Connor go faster, but he had one down in the second phase. Marilyn Little, third in the ring, still leads. Double clear and 30.91 seconds. Now with his own and Sky Group's Zabel D, 12-year-old by Larino. It is New Zealand Olympian Sian Wardley. Sian was the runner-up in the Grand Prix at the Central Park Horse Show last September and was part of the Nations Cup team for New Zealand here in Ocala last week. Just the exuberance of being out on grass, maybe a little bit for them over the first. That Central Park Horse Show Grand Prix, only 2 clears in the first round. And Sian delivering one of them over a course of Guilherme Chorches, who will be the designer this year at the Rio Olympics. This horse is Zabel D, a 12-year-old Dutch Warmblood by Larino. Certainly has the scope to jump metre 60 because he's jumping metre 60 over most of these metre 40 jumps. Good tidy turn back. Jumps plumb down the middle of the double and still gets his tight turn inside the double 5A, 5B, coming back to the final line. 30.91 seconds is the time to beat. He has a very, very good chance, but it's just outside 31.81. So the Kiwi, Sian Wardley and Zabel D clear all the way, 31.81 into second place at the moment. Well, Marilyn Little, our current leader, with first ride. Clearwater is back in the ring. Marilyn was a winner with this horse, Venus, last weekend at Post Time Farm for the Nations Cup show. This is Raylan Farms' Venus by Tangela van der Zoethoeven. Marilyn third in the Grand Prix last week as well. Last week's Grand Prix winner, Scotty Keach, for Australia, comes here to jump with us at Live Oak as well. This would be the more experienced of her two in the class, but the question will be whether Marilyn is going to chase down the time she set with Clearwater, or whether she's going to keep Venus's powder dry for later in the week. So no problem over time or fences in the first phase. Marilyn Little progresses with Venus for the United States of America. Her own time of 30.91 is the one to beat. Just gets a bit hung up on that turn. Coming home clear, not going to beat the time though. 32.39 on the clock. So it'll be well up there. Into fourth, in fact, but Marilyn Little now with first and fourth in our opening international class as we approach the halfway point of the starting order. So Michael Hughes for the United States of America now with Drumner Cross Farms Tanaka. 9-year-old Sol Francais by Calvaro. Michael was the individual young rider silver medalist in 2014. He's also been a gold medalist with young rider and junior teams. Fifth in the World Cup qualifier at the Hampton Classic in 2014. Michael is a returning visitor to us here at Live Oak, having jumped here last year. And when he was in Europe last year, he was part of the US team at the Nations Cup jumping in Bratislava. So 13 have jumped double clean at the moment. Marilyn Little leading with a double clear and time in the second phase of 30.91 seconds. A gauntlet that was laid down very early in the starting order. Michael certainly not chasing down that sort of time, looking for a good double clear to open up his account for the weekend here at Live Oak. Takes the wider option going out around the double at 5A, 5B. 45 seconds the time allowed in the second phase, 43.49 on the clock for Michael. So that goes into 13th position. It is our 14th double clear. Michael Hughes and Tanaka giving us another one for the United States of America. For France, riding Monsieur Henri Prudence Cibella, a 10-year-old mare by Diamant de Semilly, it is Adam Prudent. The next to take on Marilyn Little's leading time of 30.91 seconds. Adam jumped in the World Cup at the American Gold Cup competition last September. Been jumping at Tryon and then at the Winter Equestrian Festival in Wellington this spring. He certainly looks to be hustling along early on in the second phase. 30.91 to beat. And that finish line set quite a distance beyond the last fence. So they really do have to land and push on to make the finish line. The time is very, very good. Adam Prudhomme, 30.16 seconds. He does it. Alain Lebleu, the French, leading the way here now in Live Oak, Central Florida. 30.16 seconds. We've been a long time waiting for anyone to really come close to Marilyn Little's time of 30.91. And finally, Adam Prudhomme gives us not only close, but faster. Another returning competitor here to Live Oak, Katie Abrahamson, with Ashland Stables Bugatti. 13-year-old by Indoctro. Katie won Team Silver with her area team at the 2014 North American Young Rider Championships and was top 3 in an under-25 class at the Split Rock Tour in Kentucky. Again, picking the pace up nicely early on in this second phase. Thinking all the time about that time set now by Adam Prudhomme of 30.16 seconds. But going out wide here, so throwing away the opportunity to take over the lead, but looking for the double clear that will set them up for a strong weekend of jumping here at Live Oak. Katie Abrahamson and Bugatti give us the double clear. Going to 14th place at the moment on that time of 38.90. Roderick Carleur and Gomez van de Withoeven. 10-year-old by Enrico van de Withoeven. The latest in the ring representing Canada. Wesley Newlands earlier on with a double clean for Canada. Can Roderick make it 2 for our friends from north of the border? So, in fact, in the ring, Andrew Coker with Ora del Te di San Giorgio, a 10-year-old mare by For Pleasure. Andrew Coker went double clear earlier on with Le Conte, 37.46 was his time with his first ride. Just looks to be having a decent cut at it now as he starts his second phase. It's a good turn back there. He was a little bit over to the right-hand side on the first of those three fences along that line. Thought he was going to make life difficult for himself. But on his turn back there, he just has the rail off the second last. So it's 4 faults and a decent time, 32.50 for Andrew Coker and Ora del Te di San Giorgio. 32.5 the time, just for confirmation. 4 faults in the second phase for Andrew Coker. Andre Thiem is back with us, the German rider, this time with Voitsdorf's Konschbob. Laura Meyer's horse by Curlybad Hero. Andre's been on the winning Nations Cup team for Germany down in Wellington a couple of years ago. US based, of course, and those 2 big $1 million class wins. One at Saugerties in New York, one here in Ocala in Florida at the Post-Time Farm venue. So Andre retired his first horse after he'd completed the first phase. Just worked hard on that turn there and actually just asked a little bit much of this 12-year-old horse, Voitsdorf's Konschbob, coming into the second last. That refusal will be 4 faults. 4 faults also for the knockdown. So coming home on 8 faults in the second phase. 42.58 on the clock. Axel Barrios with VDL Abellino, 11-year-old by Corland. Axel rode at the 2013 Bolivarian Games and at the 2015 Pan American Games in Toronto. Stepped up to the 5-star level this time last year at the Winter Equestrian Festival. Axel Barrios and VDL Abellino for Guatemala in the ring here with us at the moment. You just see there's some materials and planting in the arena. It means that they have to make a real choice on their approach to that line, fence 2 and 3, and also with its curving line then back to the right on the distance 2 to 3. It's quite a gymnastic exercise if they do what Axel did and come inside that planting. Plenty have gone outside. So over the last, in the first phase, Axel Barrios and VDL Abellino. Thinking now about our leading time of 30.16 seconds set just a few minutes ago by Adam Prudent of France. So coming on towards home. Not our fastest time, but it is a double clear for the Guatemalan rider Axel Barrios and VDL Abelino. 38.74 is where they stop the clock. Another Olympian and an Olympic medalist. Two-time Olympian Bate Mandley, part of the Swiss team that won silver at the Millennial Games in Sydney. Bate was the winner of the World Cup finals in 2007 and has been in the top 5 at those World Cup finals on 5 other occasions. European team silver medal and bronze medalist. Bate won the World Cup at the Pennsylvania National in 2014 and top 10 in the Grand Prix there last year. He also had a 5-star win at the Longines Global Champions Tour of Monaco. Bate rides Grant Road Partners Staccarado by Staccato Gold. That's our sole Swiss representation here at the Longines FEI World Cup Jumping North American League at Live Oak. So 1.5 seconds over the time allowed. So it's 1 for time in the first phase, meaning that Bate Mandley and Staccarado do not progress. Nicole Walker, Kidam Sherry, next in the ring for Canada. 11-year-old by Kidam Zarubin. Nicole jumped in the under-25 international at Wellington last month. Had 2-star wins last year in Europe at the Longines Global Champions Tour of Vienna and the Longines Athena Onassis Horse Show at Saint-Tropez. And Nicole was twice a top 5 finisher in the international jumping classes here last year at Live Oak. They're riding strongly down this final line in the first phase. So Nicole Walker, Kidam Sherry progress for Canada. So France leading the way, United States of America in second, New Zealand in third as things stand with about 10 more to jump here in this 2-phase competition. Just disobedience on course. I just wondered whether maybe going to retire, but comes back around now to this line. So we see the time penalties coming in. The time allowed in the second phase, 45 seconds. Time penalties coming in at the rate of 1 for every commenced period of 4 seconds over that time allowed. So faults and time for a total of 11 in the second phase for Nicole Walker. So we've got 2 on those 30-second times, 30.91 seconds in second place for Marilyn Little and 30.16 seconds clear in the second phase out in front for Adam Prudhomme of France. Will the Marseillaise be playing here in Central Florida this afternoon for a French victory in our class opener? Only about 10 more to come who could change that reckoning. And the first of them is for Ecuador, Ana Cristina Ganzauer with Candor Farms Hill Street by High Roller. This Irish sport horse by High Roller out of a Diamond Lad mare. Just not quite the stride they wanted coming into that one, ending up with an early 4 faults in the first phase. I think the first time we've seen that fourth fence come down. And Leopoldo's first track of the weekend. Just 4 international jumping classes here. 2 today, 1 tomorrow, and the World Cup qualifier itself. The final of 14 legs of the new Longines FEI World Cup Jumping North American League on Sunday. So 4 faults in the first phase. Ana Cristina Ganzauer and Hill Street do not progress. Peter Leone and Wayfarer, another member of that Atlanta silver medal winning Olympic team for the United States of America. Peter's international career goes all the way back to a World Championships appearance at Dublin in 1982. He's a 7-time World Cup finalist for the US, a returning Live Oak jumper as well. He jumped here last year. On the North American League season, he had a top 10 finish in the World Cup qualifier at Bromont that kicked everything off last autumn. And he's a former winner of the World Cup qualifier at the American Gold Cup show at North Salem, New York. So easy jumping in the first phase for Peter's ride, Wayfarer, a 10-year-old by Languster. Actually started quite positive, but just steadied up a little bit then coming down to this line. It's not going to be a 30-second round, and it's certainly not going to be now that he goes out wide around the double 5A, 5B. So home and housed on a double clear, Peter Leone and Wayfarer, just over the 40-second mark. 16th position on 40.49 seconds for Peter and Wayfarer for the US. Well, currently lying third on the Longines FEI World Cup Jumping North American League, East Coast League, Callan Solon. Callan was second at Washington, 10th at the National Horse Show, 6th at the Toronto Royal, and 6th at the Wellington Masters World Cup qualifiers. And also part of the US Nations Cup team that won in Mexico last April, helping the US to another Furaccia FEI Nations Cup finals in Barcelona. Callan Solom with Torlando Group's VDL Torlando, 16-year-old by Corland, out of an Indoctro mare, flying out over that second fence. Callan just really had to balance and adjust coming to the Lugano Diamonds. Torlando just jumping out of his skin. He really wants to take Callan down to these jumps. But that exuberance comes back and costs them, just rolling the top rail off the first and the second phase for an early 4 faults. And that'll leave them right down the order. There's plenty of double cleans. Just comes right back before jumping down this line, including the double. Just balancing the horse, going for a steady round of jumping now. Third on the league at the moment. By no means guaranteed a Gothenburg spot. There are plenty here who could score the points to take it away. So Callan Solom, VDL Torlando, 4 in the second phase, going just outside the top 20 at the moment with that 4 faults in a time of 41.38. Back to Chloe Reid. Chloe with her own Kodarko, Irish sport horse by Darko. Chloe, a team gold medalist at the 2014 North American Young Rider Championships. Chloe gave us a good time and a double clear with her first ride. So just electing to retire. That's that one good result, as I say, under her belt in this international 2 phase. Chloe Reid's first ride, currently holding 7th position. Adam Prudhomme still leading for France. And 5 or 6 just still to come here in this first international competition. 3 o'clock start then for our second competition of the day. The Table A 1-round competition where faults and time will be the deciding factor. So Aaron Vale for the United States of America with Spirit of Alina. Won a good Grand Prix in Lexington, Kentucky in May of last year. Runner-up in the Puissance at the Washington International Horse Show in October. Aaron's jumped World Cups this year at Washington and at the National Horse Show in Kentucky, and had a good win in Ocala last week as well, on the other side of town at the Post Time Farm venue during the Furaccia FEI Nations Cup show. You just see how fast some of the other riders were. Home over these next two jumps, just outside 30 seconds. Aaron's going to be close, but it's 32.02. As I say, it is just those few strides after the last fence before they get to stop the clock, and they really do have to think about that if they want to be competitive. Aaron Vale goes into fourth place on 32.02 with a double clear. Colombia's rider Andrea Torres Cuervo with 50 Shades, Call Me Number One, the sire of this 8-year-old horse. Andrea jumped here last year, jumped also at the Nations Cup show here in Ocala last week. Adam Prudhomme with the lead at the moment, 30.16 seconds. Marilyn Little, the best of the US, in second place. Sean Wardley, the Kiwi Olympian, in third at the moment. So, progressing to the second phase. Our penultimate combination for Colombia. One more to come for them in a few minutes' time. Andrea and 50 Shades down that line, including the double, getting the tight inside turn. But they won't be challenging the leaders' times. Can they, though, break into the top five? It might just be a little bit outside that marker as well. 30. They've missed the finish. So now they're going to get time penalties over 45 seconds as they come home. 49.26 on the clock, so it's 2 for time. What a shame. So important, particularly in the two phase where they're using that shared beam for the changeover and the finish. We've seen how many strides there are on to the finish of the second phase. Andrea Torres Cuervo and 50 Shades. The first to fall foul of it, though. 2 time faults in the second phase. Well, just the one riding in the blue and yellow of Sweden. It is Mai Weber riding Available Aphrodite. Available Aphrodite is 16-year-old by Darko out of a heartbreaker mare. Mai had top 10s last year here at Live Oak and also at Optlavik and Gieseren and also at Fontainebleau. On to the final line of the first phase. It just rattles the front pole of the North American League. So the experience of the majority of combinations we have here looking towards North American League World Cup points on Sunday means that this meter 40 track jumping pretty easy as the show opener. And just going for the steady double clear. Going out wide, Mai Weber, Available Aphrodite, just 2 more to jump. Now, they do just want to keep in the back of their mind the 45 seconds time allowed. It's going to be pretty close. 43.14 on the clock for Mai, but it is clear. Representing Sweden, but also representing Live Oak stud. Mai Weber, Chester's wife, jumps double clean in the opening international competition. And she follow up with another top 10 or better finish in one of our international classes this year on home soil for her. Three more to go, including last year's World Cup winner and leading rider the last 2 years, Cian O'Connor. The Irish Olympian Cian with Crespo, PKZ, by Konrad Obolensky. Cian, the individual bronze medalist at the 2012 Games in London. Ireland very hopeful of having 2 places at the Games this year, when the qualification closes in just a few days' time, pretty much. And then it will be for Robert Splain to decide which 2 riders will fill those spaces. And Cian very much hoping to go to another Olympics. And if he is selected, the chances are it would be his Live Oak winning horse, Good Luck. He rode this year at the European Championships and the Furussia FEI Nations Cup finals for Ireland. Cian had a very fast second phase 4-faulter early on. If he can replicate that sort of form and speed, but leave them standing, he could come right up to challenge. So Cian with the bit between his teeth, down low over the horse's neck on that long sweeping turn back to this distance into the double. Just thinking so hard about the tight turn. Doesn't clean out the jump out of the double. So 4 faults in the second phase once again for Cian. But look, he is going to be our first sub 30 seconds. Oh no, 30.48 for Cian O'Connor. So a time on the clock that would have put him into second place, but with 4 faults in the second phase, it is outside the top 20 for Cian O'Connor. And Crespo, PKZ, having just a little bit of 4 faults-itis today. 2 with 4 faults in the second phase for Cian O'Connor on the opening day of the show. Juan Manuel Gallego and Kulash van den Broek is our next in the ring for Colombia. Juan Manuel jumped Nations Cup for Colombia in 2012 at Wellington. So has had some very good results at the South American World Cup League final in 2013 and 2014. "17 leagues of FEI World Cup jumping coming together for the finals in a few weeks' time in Gothenburg. 2 leagues here in North America and 15 other leagues around the world. The Western European League of Longines FEI World Cup jumping wrapping up at the beginning of the month in Bordeaux. So Juan Manuel Gallego and Kulash van den Broek, a horse owned by Stahl Tyson, has the first of the second phase down. So that means only Charlie Jacobs coming into the ring to jump last on the starting order next can take the victory away from France and return it to the United States of America. Juan Manuel not pushing the issue, going out wide around the double 5A, 5B, down to this final line. So 4 faults in a time of 45.35. So that'll put him on 5 faults because 45 seconds the time allowed in the second phase. So it's 4 for jumping, 1 for time in the second phase for Juan Manuel Gallego and Kulash van den Broek. So we go to the second ride now of Charlie Jacobs. American hopes resting on Charlie's shoulders here. Former World Cup finalist in 2014. Top 10 finisher in the World Cup qualifier here last year. And he needs points here on Sunday to try and get to another World Cup finals. He had a very good result early on in the season with a second place at Bromont. And then some points for being just outside the top 10 at Washington and the Toronto Royal. And a good, strong performance here could just give him the points to move up into the qualification zone for Gothenburg at this final show of the North American League season. But at the moment, foremost in his mind might be the 30.16 seconds time set by Adam Prudhomme, leading at the moment for France. And Charlie elects to retire. So that means that it is France who takes our first international victory. We'll be playing the Marseillaise here in Central Florida at Live Oak as the opening competition, the $10,000 Waldron Private Wealth Meter 40 two-phase wraps up here. The opening competition of the Longines FEI World Cup Jumping North American League show here at Live Oak. Adam Prudhomme, the winner for France. Marilyn Little, second for the United States of America. Sian Wardley for New Zealand in third. Then it's Aaron Vale, Lily Keenan, Marilyn Little again, Leslie Burr-Howard, Chloe Reed are top 8. Significant number of double cleans over Leopoldo's early track, meter 40, but of course he has the opportunity to build up to meter 60 in the World Cup qualifier on Sunday. Our next competition is the 23821, the one-round table A competition, and that starts jumping at 3 o'clock here at Live Oak. We look forward to talking to you then.